He grinned as he uttered the words, "Welcome to your new workspace down below." His fingers drifted casually over the documents, inscribing his signature like a deity issuing a verdict. I merely nodded. "Excellent," I replied, then hit the speaker key on my device. Provision triggered, I informed the person on the line, "Transfer 100 million right away." The space fell utterly quiet. The executive's air paused in the midst of his chuckle. His dad, the head honcho, stared at the inked paper as if it had become hazardous. And myself, I simply reclined in my seat and allowed the hush to devour them whole. 3 years prior, I'd referred to that same individual as my guide. He discovered me fresh from postgraduate studies, an eager young talent with more programming skills than self-assurance. He claimed I mirrored his younger self, ambitious, devoted, bold in aspirations. I trusted his words. For ages, I constructed all they demanded. Efficiency tools, forecasting frameworks, the formula that generated their wealth. They awarded me a prestigious position, a place close to the summit, yet never the peak. That was perpetually saved for his offspring. Nevertheless, I stayed silent. I assumed dedication would yield rewards. It did, though not as anticipated. The disloyalty came to light on a Thursday. I'd lingered after hours to resolve an information alignment problem ahead of our stakeholder evaluation. While sifting through the system records, I uncovered a duplicated repository. Concealed, unapproved, marked with my abbreviations. The contents were altered, monetary forecasts, intellectual property violations, and messages I hadn't composed, sufficient to implicate me in business sabotage. The dossier was set to inadvertently surface the following day. By the start of the week, I'd be ostracized, shamed, jobless. I skipped rest that evening. I avoided fury too. I simply adapted. Agony turned to concentration. Faith shifted to strategy, and I began scheming. Initially, I followed the trail of the replicated storage. It linked back to the executive's heir's personal profile. Next, I preserved all data. Each correspondence, deal, and archive discussion from the beginning. Then, I reached out to a gentleman called Elliot, the primary financier and, coincidentally, the sole figure with greater influence than the head himself. Elliot had always appreciated me. He remarked that I envisioned tomorrow ahead of the crowd. Thus, I presented him a vision worth backing, one excluding the head and his descendant. I devoted half a year erecting a subtle dominion within their realm, lawfully, tactically, undetected. Each invention I'd registered bore my identity, not the firm's. Every process operated on my design. Every stipulation included a crucial stipulation. Should I ever be downgraded or shifted to a lesser position, authority over those mechanisms would transfer to me and Elliot's investment group. They overlooked that detail. Those intoxicated by dominance seldom scrutinized deeply. The son's smile faltered. Which provision, he inquired. Elliot's tone echoed through the device. "Well done, associate. The acquisition is finalized. You currently command 62% of the firm's functional resources." The head squinted. This can't be." "No," I stated softly, "this is commerce." Guards were summoned. Attorneys hurried inside, but the harm was irreversible. The provision was ironclad. Each detail had been reviewed by their own counsel. While they believed they were endorsing incentive payouts, Elliot's group secured majority stake that very afternoon. By dusk, the directors elected to oust the head. By dawn, his heir's entry passes failed. I ensured their exit deals featured one final perk, a relocation to unique initiatives. Site, lower level. I stopped by a week afterward. The heir occupied a room without views, wan beneath artificial glow, entering figures that held no relevance anymore. He avoided eye contact as I arrived. His dad noticed. "You ruined us," the elder declared. "No," I countered. "You sabotaged yourselves. I merely adhered to the terms." He gazed at me like someone eyeing a primed weapon they assumed was harmless. That's when I grasped he remained clueless. He figured this concerned wealth. It didn't. It revolved around respect. About each evening I labored while they celebrated one another's genius. About every concept they appropriated and claimed as theirs. About the instant they attempted to inter me, and overlooked that I knew the tool's locations. Nowadays, every operation in that enterprise functions via my framework. Every exchange passes through software I created. Every triumph carries my imprint, and they'll never remove it. Because eliminating it would dismantle the domain completely. That's the elegance of vengeance rooted in reason. It endures.